Hey there, good morning everyone. Wednesday the 17th of January 2024. This morning's devotional is reading from Galatians chapter 6, reading verses 1 and 2, which read, If someone is caught in sin, you who are spiritual should restore them gently. But watch yourself, or you also may be tempted. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. They are larger than ducks, but smaller than swans, and bird watchers have identified almost 130 varieties of them. When they migrate, they can fly high as a Boeing 747, reaching altitudes of 12,000 meters. Now that's very high. 12 kilometers. If you drop it down on a straight line and look at it, it's an awful distance. What am I talking about? Geese. Geese have almost human characteristics in the way that they relate to each other and protect each other. Nature has always fascinated me, and I'm constantly seeking ways to learn from nature. And so a story entitled Lessons from Geese is well worth addressing as it relates to us as human beings. So here are 5 facts about geese which we can use in our daily lives. Romans chapter 1 verse 20 reminds us that God is present in all his creation. It reads, For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that men are without excuse. So fact number 1, as a goose flaps its wings, it creates an uplift for the birds that follow. And by flying in the V formation, the whole flock adds 71% greater flying range than if each bird flew it alone. Think of that, 71%. Wow. Now, what's the obvious lesson here? Nobody gets to where they are without teachers, parents, and mentors. Jesus taught that discipling, the training of others, is life's greatest task. Not simply climbing that greasy pole of success to get ahead of the next chap. Working together instead of against each other allows geese and their human counterparts to go much further and to soar higher. Fact number 2, when a goose falls out of formation, it suddenly feels the drag and resistance of flying alone. When that happens, that goose quickly moves back into the formation to take advantage of that lifting power of the bird in front of it. Now, what's the obvious lesson here? The obvious lesson is that there is no room for independence in life or the family. We are all dependent on each other, and by recognizing and respecting the interdependent relationship, you go further faster and easier and accomplish far more than trying to go the distance alone. Fact number 3, when the lead goose tires, it rotates to the back of the formation and another goose takes up the lead position. Now I tell you, how clever is that? Much smarter than humans whose egos are so large that they refuse to let another provide leadership. Surveys indicate that involvement in church offices is counterproductive to spiritual growth in the majority of people. Now, why is that? Well, it's quite simple. 90% of the work done in any church is done by 10% of the people. After a while, they are burned out, ready to quit, and often drop out entirely. The same thing is true of the leader who refuses to let another one lead, fearful that he will lose his shine. Fact number 4, geese fly in formation and they honk at each other to encourage those up front to keep up their speed. Now, I'm not sure whether they are encouraging or blowing their horns to get them moving. I know how I feel when someone honks at me. Encouraging each other is important, especially when it comes to increasing production and a sense of well-being. Whether it is your child, an employee, or a friend, encouragement can make the world of difference between success and failure. Fact number 5. When a goose gets sick, wounded, or is shot down, 2 geese drop out of formation and follow it down to help it and protect it. They stay with it until it either dies or is strong enough to be able to fly again. Our devotional verse reminds us that we are to carry each other's burdens. Humans, however, on the other hand, tend to shoot their wounded instead of nurturing them and helping them work through their problems. My dear friends, in many cases, the geese's instincts and compassion far exceed those who stand on the ground and watch them fly overhead. As it turns out, what is good for the goose is also good for us. And who said that animals are dumb? May the Lord be with you. May He bless you. May He cause His face to shine upon you and be with you always. Goodbye.